Hi, this is Maria Sanchez with the Maria Sanchez Show on KADYTV.com. Thank you so much for your time. And as the political season begins to heat up, and of course that's directly affected by our county, we are beginning the first of the Meet the Candidates segments. And for that reason, we're pleased to introduce Steve Hintz. Steve is running for County Controller. Steve, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time.
I'm glad to be here.
And what we probably should share with the viewers is, one, what does County Controller mean? And then we'll go into two, why you're running and what you hope to accomplish.
Well, just to be sure, I'm running for Treasurer Tax Collector.
Treasurer Tax Collector, okay.
Controller is a different job. It's part of the auditor's office. The Treasurer Tax Collector is a two-part office, collects all the property tax, real property and personal property, and also collects for a number of other districts that have issued bonds, for example, like school districts, community college districts, sewer districts, mosquito abatement districts, and then processes those receipts and allocates them to the various agencies, and then hands that bucket of money to the treasurer hand, and the treasurer then invests it all in the amount of about $7 billion per year.
Wow.
Maintaining at all times an investment pool of $2 billion. And it's invested in such a way that the bonds, for the most part, that are purchased mature on the days when it's known that the county and the county schools will have large expenditure days. So you collect property taxes and you invest the balance in a way so that it's available when it's needed, always maintaining a $2 billion reserve.
So Treasurer Tax Collector, is it sometimes two positions in counties, or is it always the one and Ventura County is just following the norm?
You know, I can't tell you for sure. My recollection is that it's usually a two-part job. It could well be that in the past they were separate, but many counties have gone through a streamlining process where the job has been combined.
Now, I know that one of the issues early on in the primary, because there were 7 or 8 of you running?
There were 7 in the primary.
And so that was a crowded field, obviously. And the top 2 vote getters are the ones that made it to the primaries, you and your opponent.
Is true.
Okay. Did you have to get a certain percentage in order to, or was it just the top 2?
Just the top 2.
Okay.
I got a little over 24%. My opponent got about 20%. The next one below him, the next 3 below him were in the 19, 18, 17 range.
Now, have you run for public office before?
No. I was a judge for 27 years, and I went through 5 elections, but I was never run against, so I never actually had to do a political campaign.
And that must make this one a different beast.
Oh, this is very different. I could write a book about the differences between running for office and being a judge. It is so different.
Are you a judge presently?
I retired in '07, and I went to work for the state in a program where they send retired judges out where they're needed to fill in. And I took a leave of absence from that program on January 1st so that I could campaign. It's ethically impossible to run for another office and still comply with the ethical requirements of judging.
And do you want to share with our viewers what it is that your legacy has been about in the county, not professionally, but perhaps personally?
Well, gee, I hadn't actually thought much about legacy. You know, the things that I've done that I think are going to have the greatest impact on the future of the county is coaching 40 youth teams and being involved in youth organizations like Boy Scouts and helping raise children and turn young people into adults. If I was to say anything about legacy, that would be it, much more than the simple day-to-day work of judging.
Well, and obviously you're a husband and you're a father. You have 2 children.
Yes.
And so, and you've been in the county?
Since 1975.
And what brought you to Ventura County?
A job.
Ah.
I was getting out of the Navy, and I interviewed with district attorney's offices, and Ventura County was kind enough to hire me, and I came here on April 1st in 1975 and have never regretted a minute of it.
And what a lot of our guests, we talk about how we're this little known secret and how we know how great we are. And I don't mean to sound egotistical about that, but we're all in agreement pretty much. That's why we live here. And that we're a Mayberry of sorts, if you will. That we care about our neighbors and we care about the people that we worship with and that we do business with. And that seems to permeate throughout, regardless of people's education or station in life, that we're really proud of this place we call home.
Ventura County is twice as big as it was when I arrived in '75, more than twice as big. The city of San Buenaventura itself is almost 3 times the size of what it was when I came here. And despite that, people, and I suppose you might describe it as they're kind of aggressive about making sure that we do not become Los Angeles or Orange County. Correct. Orange County is the other place that they say, no, we'll never do that. And so you see the green belts between the cities. You see a significant effort to maintain agricultural land, and you see a very careful review process before things get built. And that, and the pride in community. One of the things that's been interesting to me while I've been running for office is to go out to the various communities in our county and see how vibrant they are and how active the chambers of commerce are and the booster clubs, and to really see what's going on in the various parts of Ventura County.
Now, treasurer tax collector, why did you choose that? What do you think qualifies you to be elected? And do you, obviously you have a fiduciary responsibility, do you need to have some kind of business acumen or numbers in terms of training in that regard?
There are a lot of things that you can do to be qualified for this kind of job. That there's a government code section that contains a whole bunch of different ways. I qualify because I have the right college degree, and I also qualify because I have done major league investing as the chief financial officer of a large charitable foundation that's allied with the California State Railroad Museum. But what makes me know that I'm qualified to actually do the job beyond just the paper qualifications is that the treasurer tax collector can be summed up in 3 words: investing, management, and leadership. And I have done all 3 of those in ways that provide, I believe, a great background for this job. The investing was while I was working with the Railroad Museum, investing their endowment funds. That was a substantial amount of money, and I went back to school to make sure that I understood what modern investing techniques involved. Management, I was a management major in college. I always enjoyed running a business, having to do with the daily affairs of the business, so I understand the concept of managing a government agency, and I did that when I was the presiding judge as well. And leadership is a significant factor because you actually represent all 850,000 people in Ventura County. You're not just leading an office of 34 people, you're representing 850,000 people. And of course, I've done that all those years as a judge, 27 years as a judge. That's what I was doing, was representing for the people of the county of Ventura, all of them. And so this job is just, it fits me.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, I'd like to go into the nuances of what a campaign is like, because not a lot of people know what goes into a campaign, what personal sacrifice you make, what the sacrifice your family makes, the people that are volunteering for you, and also if somebody would like to get involved, how they could get involved with your campaign, because obviously volunteers are needed, I'm sure, at every stretch of the game. We have in studio for our guest, Treasurer Tax Collector Candidate Steve Hintz. This is Maria Sanchez with KADYTV.com. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Peter Godinez from KDTV.com. I'm here to announce a new show that we're all excited about here called Meet the Boss. Now, this is about all your friends and neighbors who own businesses and being able to support them in their causes and helping them stay healthy. So save this program in your favorites, make sure you spread it out to your friends, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all here in Ventura County.
Maria Sanchez here with the Maria Sanchez Show on KADYTV.com. We have in studio our guest, Treasurer Tax Collector Candidate, Steve Hintz. Steve's been visiting with us and sharing his experience both professionally and personally, his love of the county, and why he thinks he's best suited for the position. Steve had formidable opposition in the primary in that there were so many other candidates. I believe that was the most, wasn't it?
There were 7 candidates, plus there were another 4 who had talked seriously about getting in and changed their minds at the last and did not file. So it could have been even bigger.
Right. And so to stand out and get yourself known and your name known to get the 1 or 2 most votes, and as you said, you got the first most and your opponent the second, and that then was June. Now we're chugging along to November. What is it like for you and your office and your family and the volunteers?
Well, it's like opening a small business, and I've used this analogy before. On December 1st, 2009, I opened a small business called Steve Hintz for Treasurer Tax Collector. And my product is myself, my integrity, my commitment to the people of the county, the ideas that I have for running the office and leading, my commitment to cost saving by turning back part of my salary, refusing some of the perks of office. So that's my product, and my business will thrive if I convince people that I am the person to bring integrity back to the office and to go forward, and that they will pay me by voting for me. So I had a great payday in June. That was wonderful. And now I'm looking for a payday in November. And when you work for what will amount to 12 months, 11 months, with only 2 paydays, there's a lot of pressure to make those days pay off. And that's the biggest thing, I think, from my career as a lawyer and as a judge, was that you only see the results twice. The business aspects of it, hiring the people that you need to have available to help, which includes the getting volunteers, the commitment of my wife to helping me do so many things, and in the primary, basically, she and I ran the campaign off our dining room table. And both of my kids understand that we're not celebrating their birthdays on October 5th and 7th this year. It'll have to be some other day. In November is when we actually celebrate their birthdays. It's been 3 to 4 meetings every day since about February 1st. A very intense schedule of getting out there and meeting people, talking with them, finding out what interests them about the financial status of the county, and basically bringing myself to them.
Now, in terms of effort, that's formidable. What about cost?
I have been very surprised at the cost that's involved in running a campaign. As I said, I had not been involved in political campaigns except to help other people with the occasional event that they were doing, but it is expensive, and it's not easy to fundraise for this particular job because you don't have a constituency. There's nobody you can do a favor for. You can't give them a discount on their taxes. They have to pay according to the bill. And the only people, I suppose, who would be interested in the investment program personally, to where they might want to have a friend in there are people that you wouldn't dream of taking money from, like investment brokers and those people. So it is, you fall back on your friends and your family, and in my case, I was lucky enough to have a constituency of lawyers who've known me over the years, and that has allowed for some fundraising, but the fact is that the greater bulk of the expenses of this campaign are self-funded.
Now, are there limits to what you can spend?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you fall under those purviews?
Yeah, but it's like $575,000 or something like that per campaign. The campaigns are separated out so that there's one in the spring and one in the fall. So the concept that I might spend $1.2 million is, I mean, I suppose it's theoretically possible, but extremely unlikely.
Likely.
We'll be well under those limits.
But legally, it's
Yeah.
allowed.
And one of the hard parts about fundraising for this campaign is that there's a $700 per person limit on the contributions. So you can't go find that $10,000 or $15,000 angel like some other candidates can. You're limited by the size of the contributions to fundraising. In my campaign, the average contribution has been about $150.
Now, are there issues that have been going on prior in terms of how the position has been fulfilled that you would like to change or remedy, or that you see are egregious and that definitely need to be revamped?
The office got a lot of bad publicity 2 or 3 years ago when all those problems with the public guardian's office came up, where it turned out that people who were supposed to be protecting the assets of people were actually stealing the assets of the people. And there was a big investigation and a lot of negative publicity, and the Board of Supervisors reorganized and took the public guardian function away from the treasurer tax collector and put it under a different department. Frankly, the public guardianship duties never were a good fit with the treasurer tax collector, and it's just as well that they're gone. The people who were involved in the bad behavior are gone, and so the current treasurer, whoever is elected to be the treasurer tax collector starting in January, will have a nice, clean, honest, straightforward, committed office of good civil servants to work with. There are things that I want to talk about that are improvements for the way the office does business. I want to greatly expand the website and make it a lot easier to use, and to put a lot more information about the county's financial status on the website. I want to think about expanding an office out into the eastern part of the county during the two-week periods every year when people are pouring into the treasurer tax collector office to pay their bills. I want to talk with the assessor about the possibility of cross-training and cross-assigning people, because it happens so often that people come to the tax collector's office to complain about something, and what they really have is an assessor problem, and vice versa. I intend to show that I'm personally committed to saving money by turning down $10,000 a year of the salary, turning down the county car, turning down the county telephone. I'm going to lobby to require that the executive retirement program, that we should pay in the same way that the employees do. And those are the kinds of things that I'm talking about in terms of modifying the office. They're not functional changes, they're service changes.
And if somebody would like to volunteer and help, obviously donations are appreciated. Do you need people making phone calls, walking precincts, stuffing envelopes?
Absolutely, all of that. I have a very nice website. That's one of the things that if you're going to start a small business, that's one of the things you have to do right away that I hadn't actually thought about, was you have to create an interesting website. And my website is Stephen Hintz for Treasurer, and you go to it. There are a number of places to click on it for what you can do, or you can call me on my phone, which is area code 805-512-0327. That phone rings in my pocket all day and all night, and that's how anybody who wants to ask any questions about county finances can contact me.
And in terms of endorsements, do you want to share who's jumped on the bandwagon?
Well, it's a very long list, and I encourage people to go to the website to see the complete list, but I am endorsed by the Ventura County Star and by the Reporter. I'm endorsed by everybody who has ever been the treasurer tax collector of Ventura County, who's still alive. That is the last three. The sheriff, the past sheriff, the district attorney, a host of former members of the Board of Supervisors, Tom McClintock, Bob Legamarcino from Congress, just literally dozens of elected officials have said that they believe that Steve Hintz has the leadership skills to do this job. That's what their endorsements mean, is it's their investment of their name in my campaign.
Well, we have posted that information during this conversation, and we will provide a link also so that if we can hyperlink to your website and back, vice versa, so folks can watch this
that's
as
all
well.
set up that we can do that. We have
Perfect.
a spot for that.
Perfect, and I wish you good luck. And
Thank
it was
you.
great to meet you in
Thank
person.
you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Steve Hintz, Treasurer Tax Collector, and he is the candidate. His opponent has been offered an opportunity to come and visit with us, and we're working on scheduling in terms of fair access. This is Maria Sanchez. You're watching KADYTV.com. Thank you so much.